Welcome to PHT in the Morning with your host, Pastor David Miller from the Pentecostal Holiness Tabernacle in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of PHT in the Morning with Pastor David Miller. We're certainly glad that you're listening today to our podcast. And we have a pastor here from Silver Springs, New York, who is going to be with us on this podcast today. And we're just going to do a little interview with him. And his name is Pastor Jeremy Pinson, and his wife is Sister Amanda Pinson. And we're just thrilled to have them here today. So, Pastor Pinson, I just was wanting you to say in your words and how you got started in your ministry.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be on your podcast. I got the call to preach when I was 16 years old, but ran from it for 4 years.
Yes.
And was going to Brother Doug Webb's church in Brooks, where Brother Philip Webb is pastor now, in Brooks, Kentucky.
Great men, by the way.
Yes.
I've preached for Brother Doug several times.
They're awesome.
Yes.
They're our heroes, both of them. And I finally yielded to it and preached my first message when I was 20 and was there as a lay preacher for 4 years at that church. And we got the call to be a youth pastor in Northern Ohio at Broadway Assembly for Brother Matt Jones.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he's a great man.
He is a great man.
He's one of my favorites. Every moment I spent with him, my estimation grew of him, and
yes.
it was neat to work with somebody like that. So 4.5 years there, and then I went back to be youth pastor for Amanda and I went back to be youth pastor for Brother Doug Webb for 2.5 years
yes.
in Brooks, and then we felt the call up here to help her Uncle Jay with the work that his father had started in Silver Springs, and was his assistant pastor for 2 years, and then we've been pastoring here for 6 years now.
For 6 years, praise God.
Yeah.
That's some great men that you named there.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yes, sir. I love Brother Matt Jones, and he is a powerful preacher.
Yes, sir.
He really is. And he seems, like unapproachable when you first meet him, but he's not that way at all.
No, not at all.
He's a great man. And of course, his father-in-law is a great friend of mine.
Yes, sir.
And when I got up here, I was telling Pastor Frazier, I said, can I put some of these CDs out? And he said, sure. Somebody come up and said, well, we already bought that. I said, where'd you get it from? He said, Brother Gary Smith. So I may have to owe him some ties or something. Yeah. I don't know.
He's peddling for you. That's awesome.
Praise God. But I tell you what, I enjoyed your sermon today. He preached the morning service of the convention here, and it was powerful. And you just give us a little bit on the title that you preached and a little overview of your sermon.
I preached out of Jeremiah 17 and talked about spiritual vagabonds, how people don't seem to be rooted anymore.
Yes.
Just a spirit of discontent has swept our churches.
It is.
And folks have got focused in on things that they see as being done wrong.
Yes.
And I feel like it really is a spirit that has attached itself to churches.
Yes.
And folks have to get loose of it. And so we talked about that and how we need to put our roots down into Jesus and not be moved.
I love that. It was a powerful message. I really enjoyed it. And you're exactly right, because people say, you said one part of your sermon there that I think I'll move over here. It may be better. But really, it's the same problems everywhere.
Yes, sir.
I was preaching years ago in Detroit, Michigan. I've done a lot of evangelistic work there. And I was preaching there for Brother Mooneyham and Brother Raymond Mooneyham. And he got up and was telling a story. He said one day that he had went and told, I think it was his wife, he said, I have found the perfect church. It is perfect. There's no problems, and it's the perfect church. And I think we're going to start going there. His wife said, well, it won't be perfect if we go. It won't be. It'll lose its perfection. And she wasn't saying they were bad people.
Right.
She was just trying to say that, perfection is something that only God can take care of.
Yeah.
But that was a great message you preached. I enjoyed it.
Praise the Lord.
Now, I was going to ask you about your children. How many do you have?
We have 5 kids.
5 children.
Yeah, Lord's blessed us.
He has.
Yeah.
How many girls and boys? Which ones?
Three girls, 2 boys. We named them all after presidents. So Reagan, Kennedy, Taylor, McKinley, and Lincoln.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are they all Republicans?
No, Kennedy.
Oh, that's right.
But I should have, but didn't do it.
Yeah, okay. I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, our listeners will love it.
Yeah.
But anyhow, that is great. I love that. And they are absolutely tremendous singers.
Yes, sir.
I enjoyed their singing. Of course, your wife, I've known her
Yes, sir.
since she was a little girl, and she was always a great singer.
Yes, sir.
Even when she was young. And I heard her sing today, and Sister Maddie, you can still sing.
Thank you.
You really can. I know that you're shy and you don't like to talk. She's told me, please don't let me talk. Don't make me talk. But I just want to hear a word or two from you, if you would. And I don't think any pastor can be really successful
Yes, sir.
without a good wife
Yes, sir.
that stands behind him and behind his ministry. So if you want to talk about how God's blessed your children, how God's blessed your church or your marriage, or whatever you could say you think would be a help to our listeners.
Well, I am thankful for the past couple of years that I'm getting rooted,
Yes.
deeper.
Yes.
And from a young girl, I had wonderful role models, godly women and pastors' wives and people who were genuine and loved the Lord. They were my role models.
Yes.
It wasn't actors and actresses
Right.
and famous people, but it was people who loved the Lord and loved people. But I'm learning I'm not them, that
Yes.
I have my own identity.
Right.
And I'm thankful for what God's doing in me and that he loves me as his daughter. I'm his child. I'm unique.
Yes.
I'm not like anybody else, but he loves me
true.
and I'm valued to him. And
Yeah.
he's got something from me individually.
Yes.
And so I appreciate what the Lord's showing me.
Praise God.
That's good. That's good.
I am so glad you shared. She didn't want to share. Isn't that tremendous? Now, I'm so sorry. I'm so sad that this is not, we didn't video this today. I don't have my equipment here for that because you couldn't see the tears, but the tears was coming down as your wife was giving that word to people that was listening. And I appreciate you, Amanda. I think you're a great role model yourself.
Yeah.
I looked at you and your husband, and I saw those 5 kids last night and again today, and I praised God for that. God has blessed your family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
God has blessed their ministry.
Yes, sir.
He really has. And I'm gonna just say this right here. We still got all kinds of time. And if you're ever around Silver Springs, New York, I'm just going to let you, Pastor, tell them your service times and about where you are.
All right. We're an hour and 15 minutes from Niagara Falls. So if you're ever coming through there, it's a perfect time to stop right by 10 minutes from Letchworth State Park.
That's beautiful, too.
Yeah. We have, when you hear New York, you think concrete jungle, but we live in amongst the cow patties.
Yeah.
We got 4,000 more cows in our county than people. So it's country, and we're blessed. We're smack in the middle between cornfields and cow barns, right by the birthing cow barn, the biggest dairy farm in our county. But our services on Sunday morning, prayer meeting starts at 10, Sunday school 10:30, worship starts at 11, and then midweek service is at 7:30, and we do at 7 o'clock. We have our kids practices where we have we're training all the kids in our church to play instruments. My
Praise
wife
God.
is training them to play drums, bass, guitar, and piano, and they just kind of move in a circuit. And we're finding which ones are gifted for what, and which ones are drawn to what instruments. My mantra has been in my whole ministry to make it easier on the next guy.
Praise God.
To leave the church in better shape. If we stay there till I'm 70, if the Lord tarries, at some point, if the Lord tarries, I'm going to be not the pastor there anymore, and I want to leave it better than what I found.
Yes.
So.
And it's on Thursdays and not Wednesdays.
Yeah,
It's when?
Thursday.
Thursday nights?
Thursday
Did
is
I
our
say
midweek.
Wednesday?
I don't think you said a midweek.
Okay.
Thursday. Yeah, we got a weirder night. But
Thursday night,
nights,
7:30?
7:30.
7:30?
Yes, sir.
Sunday mornings when?
11.
11 o'clock, and then you have the evening service?
Not right now.
Okay.
No, sir.
So 11 o'clock on Sunday and 7:30 on Thursday?
Yes, sir.
And I know they will be happy.
Yes.
Matter of fact, we know of a youth pastor that's at Niagara Falls right now.
Oh.
And we was telling them they need to come to your church Sunday.
Hey, all right.
And so we've already reached out to them and told them.
All right.
Or I didn't do it, Melissa did.
Okay.
My daughter's here at the convention, and of course, she knows you all real well.
Yes, sir.
And she said, hey, if you're that in Niagara Falls, you need to go to Brother and Sister Pinson's church.
Yeah.
And she was telling them where you were and
Yes,
all
sir.
that. So if you see a strange guy that's losing his hair,
Oh, okay.
and, oh, Lord, Brother Mike Lamb, if you're there, I'm sorry I said that if you're listening. You probably are listening. But anyway, he's a great brother.
All right.
He is. And him and his wife are there. And they said, we didn't even know there's any churches there.
That's what everybody says.
There's churches everywhere in New York.
Yeah.
This is a great church right here.
Yes. Yes.
That we're preaching, Pastor Ron Fraser. And we fell in love with him and his family and this church. And we love you.
Appreciate you.
I really do.
Thank you.
And he mentioned the founder was Pastor Jay Bailey Sr. And my first time preaching for him, I preached his camp meeting in 1980.
That's awesome.
Was you born?
No, sir.
Before you was born?
83 is when I was born.
Wow. And then I know I preached 2 or 3 more, a couple youth camps, and
Yes, sir.
just a revival or 2. And we was terrific friends.
Yes, sir.
And then his son actually preached my Pastor Appreciation Day last year.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's preached different times.
He's a preacher.
Jay and Kim, we love them.
Yes, sir.
And they'll come by, and we always talk about Eddie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Hines,
about?
Eddie Hines, yeah.
And he can talk and look just like him. And he was a great guy, but I know he's gone on to his reward.
Yes, sir.
Well, I know this episode of our podcast has been a little different. We do interviews sometimes instead of teaching or whatever. And I have tremendously enjoyed this.
Sir, I still.
And we're just thrilled to get reacquainted with you. So I appreciate you all for listening in. And if you would, just like and share. Or if you're on a podcast site that you just follow if you would. And it'll just let you know when our next podcast is. Or just remember Monday morning, 7 o'clock. And you can go back and get them all after that. So God bless you. This is Pastor Miller, and we're glad that you was with us today. And I pray you have a great rest of your day.